The Galactic Federation made a critical miscalculation when evaluating humanity's threat level. They examined human physiology, average strength, moderate speed, no natural armor, no venom, no claws, and classified them as a Class 7 species. Prey animals that had somehow stumbled into space travel. When humanity refused to cede their colony worlds, the Federation decided to teach them their place in the galactic hierarchy. They would send in the hunters. The first deployment was the Velrothi, 8-foot-tall reptilian predators from a death world with gravity 3 times Earth standard. Their species had evolved hunting megafauna in toxic swamps. They possessed reflexes fast enough to snatch flying creatures from the air and jaws capable of crushing titanium. 200 Velrothi warriors were dropped onto the human colony of New Brisbane. They lasted 4 days. The Velrothi were ambush predators, patient and deadly. But humans had spent 10,000 years domesticating wolves, befriending apex predators, and turning them into companions. More importantly, humans understood something the Velrothi didn't. The best predator isn't the strongest or fastest. It's the one that changes the environment to suit itself. The colonists didn't fight the Velrothi in the jungles where they held the advantage. They burned the jungles down. Then they hunted the hunters through the ash fields with thermal imaging and long-range rifles. The Velrothi never saw their killers. They just died, one by one, picked off from distances their evolved senses couldn't detect. The Federation was puzzled, but not deterred. They sent the Krynish, hive-mind insectoids that could coordinate perfectly, communicate silently, and overwhelm prey through sheer numbers. 10,000 Krynish warriors descended on the farming world of Harvestation. They were eradicated in 72 hours. The Krynish had never encountered chemical warfare before. Humans had invented it centuries ago and felt deeply ashamed of it, until they found a species where it was perfectly ethical to use. Nerve agents designed for insectoid biology swept through the Krynish swarms. The hive mind that made them so effective became their weakness. Panic from the dying rippled through their entire force. The survivors were hunted down by colonists in hazmat suits. The Federation convened an emergency session. 2 of their apex predator species had been annihilated by farmers and colonists, not even human soldiers. The Council decided to deploy the Vraxians, and surely this would end the human problem. The Vraxians were nightmares made flesh. Silicon-based life, forms that could survive in vacuum, required no atmosphere, and could tear through ship hulls with their crystalline claws. They were siege breakers, deployed to crack open fortified positions. 500 Vraxians were sent to assault the mining colony on Titan's Reach. The battle lasted 6 hours. Humans had been mining asteroids for generations. They understood pressure, vacuum, and explosive decompression better than any species in the galaxy. The Vraxians could survive in space, but they still needed to orient themselves. When the colonists blew the mining charges they planted in the surrounding rock formations, the Vraxians were caught in a debris field traveling at orbital velocities. Those that survived the initial blast found themselves facing miners in hardened suits, wielding industrial cutting lasers designed to slice through solid rock. The Vraxians were tough, but they weren't tougher than the asteroids humans process daily. When the Federation received the reports, panic spread through the council chambers. A Terran ambassador was finally granted an audience. Why? The Federation High Chancellor demanded. You're not apex predators. Your biology is unremarkable. How do you keep defeating species that should destroy you? Ambassador Williams smiled grimly. You're right. We're not apex predators, not by biology. But our planet had dozens of apex predators, and we didn't go extinct. We thrived. Do you know why? The Chancellor remained silent. Because humans don't compete in nature's hierarchy. We invented our own hierarchy. Every predator you sent, we've already faced worse on our own world and won. We didn't evolve to be the strongest or the fastest. We evolved to be the species that kills the strongest and fastest, then wears their skin as a trophy. Williams leaned forward. You sent us your apex predators. We've been domesticating, hunting, and eradicating apex predators since we lived in caves. It's what we do. It's all we've ever done. The Federation voted unanimously to grant humanity full sovereignty over their colonies. Some hunting instincts they learned weren't about strength or speed. They were about being the species that refused to be prey, no matter what came hunting,